How do we? Every single day, people wake up and start their morning without realizing that the way they live, the way they eat, sleep, move, and even see the world determines how their body handles one of the most important molecules in existence, glucose. Blood sugar is more than a reading on a device or a lab test. How do we? It's a moment-by-moment reflection of your biology, your habits, and your environment. And when it's out of balance, you don't just feel it in your body. You feel it in your mind, your energy, your mood, and even the way you connect with the people you love. But here's the true thing. There are natural, science-backed strategies that lower blood sugar faster than you ever thought possible, without drugs, without gimmicks, and without waiting months to see results. Today, I'm going to walk you through 6 of the most powerful proven methods that not only lower blood sugar quickly, but also help you maintain that control for life. Blood sugar is not just a number printed on a screen. It's a living reflection of how you live your life from the moment you wake to the moment you close your eyes at night. It reflects what you put on your plate, but also what you carry in your heart. It responds not only to the carbohydrate content of your meals, but to the emotional weight of your thoughts, the depth of your sleep, and the stillness or chaos of your daily routine. Elevated blood sugar levels aren't simply about eating too much sugar. They are often rooted in the biology of stress, the architecture of broken sleep cycles, and the loss of intentional movement throughout the day. When your glucose is high, your body is telling you something, that there's an imbalance, a signal that needs to be heard, not silenced. It's easy to focus on blood sugar as something external, a clinical metric to fix or control, but in truth, it's deeply internal. It fluctuates with your relationships, your habits, your mindset, and even your exposure to light and nature. Your cells are constantly sensing whether you're safe, supported, rested, and in rhythm. Blood sugar becomes stable not just when you eat processed food, but when your life becomes processed, when everything is rushed, reactive, and disconnected from your natural rhythm. If your body doesn't separate the physical from the emotional, a stressful meeting, a night of broken sleep, a skipped meal, or a lack of joy, all of these shift your glucose levels. This number responds to the music of your life. If that music is fast, chaotic, and without harmony, the rhythm of your metabolism will break down. But when your life moves with purpose, when you fuel your body with care, when you move with intention, when you breathe fully, and when you prioritize rest and love, your blood sugar reflects that harmony. The number begins to fall into alignment with your inner balance. Blood sugar is feedback, real time, about how closely or how far you are from living in congruence with what your body was designed for. It does not lie, and it does not punish. It simply reveals light in the morning is more than a wake-up call. It's a metabolic reset button. The first rays of natural sunlight carry a powerful signal to your brain and body, telling every cell that it's time to align, time to regulate, time to switch gears from night to day. This light, especially when it enters your eyes within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, triggers a cascade of hormonal and neurological responses that directly impact your blood sugar. It calibrates your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs nearly every system in your body, including how you produce insulin, how you store fat, and how efficiently your cells take in glucose. When you step outside in the early part of the day, the specific wavelengths of stimulate specialized neurons in your retina that connect directly to the hypothalamus, the master regulator of hormones. This signal tells your adrenal glands to release just the right amount of cortisol. Not too much. Not too little, helping to set a stable foundation for your stress response throughout the day. A controlled cortisol rise in the morning improves your insulin sensitivity, meaning your body becomes better at clearing sugar from your blood safely in muscle and liver tissue, rather than leaving it to float in circulation and cause damage. This morning light exposure just affects your metabolism in the short term. It sets the tempo for your energy appetite and fat burning rhythm across the entire day. It helps regulate melatonin, which not only governs sleep, but has profound effects on glucose metabolism. When melatonin production is properly suppressed during daylight and peaks only at night, your insulin and leptin levels function optimally, your hunger cues become more accurate, and your blood sugar curves flatten in a healthy, controlled way. Artificial indoor lighting simply cannot replicate the intensity and spectrum of natural sunlight. Even on a cloudy morning, being outside gives you at least 10 times the light exposure as being indoors near a window. This isn't about sunlight for mood. It's about full body metabolic regulation at the level of your DNA. Your mitochondria, the energy factories of your cells, respond to natural light as a signal of readiness and efficiency. When they receive that early light signal, they burn fuel, including glucose, more efficiently. They reduce oxidative stress, They help keep inflammation low and metabolism high. All of this begins not with food, but with light. Not with effort, but with awareness. Morning light is not a wellness trend. It is biological truth. It is the original prescription built into our design long before blood sugar monitors or diet plans existed. Movement within 30 minutes of eating is one of the most underutilized, yet profoundly effective strategies to control blood sugar. Not just temporarily, but in a way that reshapes how your body handles glucose over time. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your blood sugar begins to rise. This is natural, but the way your body responds to that rise is what determines whether glucose becomes energy or damage. If you sit still, your body leans on insulin to move sugar into cells. But if you engage your muscles, even with a gentle walk, something incredible happens. Your muscles start acting like a sponge, pulling glucose from the bloodstream directly into the cells, bypassing insulin altogether. This isn't a trick. It's how human physiology was designed to operate in motion, not at rest. Muscle tissue is the largest glucose reservoir in the body, and after a meal, your muscles are primed to absorb sugar efficiently if they are contracting. That contraction opens up glucose transporters inside your muscle cells, allowing them to soak up sugar without waiting for hormonal cues. This not only reduces the magnitude of post-meal spikes, but also flattens the curve, lowering the burden on your pancreas and reducing the production of excess insulin, which is closely tied to fat storage and insulin resistance. What matters here is not intensity. It's timing. You don't need to run, lift weights, or do anything extreme. A 10-20 minute walk, light cycling, or even standing and doing housework can trigger the same effect. The sooner after your meal you begin moving, the more powerful the impact. This post-meal movement window aligns with your body's natural desire to clear glucose. And when you honor that timing, you allow your metabolism to function with elegance and precision. Over time, these small movements create lasting metabolic improvements. They retrain your body to manage blood sugar without over-relying on insulin, lowering your risk of insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and energy crashes that follow glucose peaks and drops. This simple habit compounds daily. It helps regulate hunger hormones, improves digestion, and enhances mood by increasing blood flow and stimulating neurotransmitter release. Your body begins to expect movement after meals, and this anticipation alone can improve insulin sensitivity. Post-meal movement also calms the nervous system, shifting you away from a sympathetic, stress-driven state into parasympathetic recovery, a state where digestion improves, inflammation lowers, and cellular repair accelerates. You're not just walking off a meal, you're transforming the way your body responds to every bite you take. Deep sleep is the anabolic furnace where the body rebuilds, repairs, and restores metabolic health in ways no waking action can match. It's during this phase of sleep, especially in the first half of the night, that your body sinks into the deepest stages of non-REM sleep, orchestrating a physiological environment designed for healing and regeneration. While you remain still and unaware, your nervous system transitions into a parasympathetic state, calming stress hormones like cortisol and creating the perfect internal conditions for insulin sensitivity to return. It's not just rest, it's recalibration. The cells in your liver, muscles, and fat tissue become more responsive to insulin, allowing glucose to be absorbed more efficiently and blood sugar to stabilize without effort. This is when the endocrine system performs its most essential recalibrations. Growth hormone is released in pulses, and this hormone plays a direct role in maintaining lean muscle mass and reducing abdominal fat, both of which are tightly linked to improved glucose metabolism. Deep sleep also supports leptin signaling, the hormone that tells your brain you've had enough to eat, while suppressing ghrelin, the hormone that drives hunger. When these signals are in sync, appetite remains regulated, cravings are diminished, and overeating becomes less likely, especially for sugar-heavy, high-carb foods that can push blood glucose to dangerous levels. Each 90-minute sleep cycle includes a window of slow-wave sleep, but the depth and quality of these cycles are what determine how thoroughly your metabolic system resets. Inadequate or fragmented sleep shortcuts this process, leaving cells insulin resistant and promoting higher glucose levels throughout the day. Just one night of disrupted sleep can lead to measurable spikes in fasting blood sugar, altered cortisol patterns, and exaggerated insulin responses to food. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation becomes a silent driver of prediabetes, obesity, and metabolic syndrome. But the beauty of deep sleep lies in its cumulative effect. When you commit to it consistently, it becomes a metabolic multiplier. Night after night, As your body dips into those healing delta brainwaves, it lowers inflammation, reduces oxidative stress, restores mitochondrial efficiency, and strengthens the hormonal rhythm that keeps your metabolism homing. You begin to wake with more energy, more clarity, and a tighter control over blood sugar swings. Your body doesn't need to fight for balance. It remembers how to maintain it. The quality of your deep sleep becomes the quality of your metabolic function, influencing everything from your morning energy to your long-term risk of chronic disease.